Okay, we're going to do a short clip today because there's not going to be time later. But we're going to talk a little bit about this Amazon HQ meltdown in New York. It is hilarious. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. You have Nomiki Konst and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Jimmy Dore. They're declaring victory. Yes, we got Amazon not to build a massive headquarters in New York. Now, to clarify, I think that there is a problem. There's a massive problem when you have city governments giving major tax abatements to these corporations when, in many cases, when you create a tax code in your area that is harmful to small businesses and you give tax breaks to big businesses, that's the real problem. But when you start to say, well, the tax abatements are bad because we need more taxes. We need to tax people more. We need to take in more revenue, and we need them to. We want to force union representation on them, which is their choice, but it is kind of making the deal more bitter. When you talk to them about, oh, you're a company that cooperates with ICE, we don't want you in our city. Okay, think about it this way. The city of New York did lose out on, I believe it was 25,000 employees, they said. And, that's people from New York, that's people from Long Island. You're going to have a lot of people. And there already are polls out there, and I don't have them. I might try to add the sources tomorrow after, after I get some time. There are polls saying that it's actually in some of the more lower income areas of the city that people are objecting to the canceling of the deal. So you have all of these reactions that are coming out, and the fact of the matter is that these progressive politicians that are in office, the ones who are actual administrators, they can't necessarily appear to be too much on the side of Amazon because that would alienate their own base. The Amazon is about as toxic a company today in the progressive community and in their mindset as would be, for example, I don't know, ExxonMobil 20, 30 years ago, as would be probably the Rand Corporation during the Vietnam era. They're a toxic brand if you are among liberals. Even though liberals and progressives, I'm not sure where they buy all of their, whatever they buy, the chia seeds and the anal beads and whatever, all the stuff that they need. I don't know where they would buy it for. I'm assuming they like to pay a premium or something. I'm not here to defend Amazon. I think, yesterday I believe I even said, maybe it wasn't on YouTube, but I said it. I think I put up a post saying that the real solution is to enforce existing antitrust laws. And actually, Jimmy Dore came out and he said that. He said that these corporations do need to be broken up, and I would support that. That's probably the only thing that Jimmy Dore said on this subject that I really agree about. Now, you have this huge division going on because the people who brokered the deal, who are Mayor de Blasio and the governor of New York State, Andrew Cuomo. Thank God I don't live there, but the governor and the mayor are both pointing fingers, and I believe Cuomo was pointing fingers at the New York State Senate, where a lot of the officials started objecting. Oh, they didn't give any union jobs. They didn't give any union jobs. And then, of course, there were all the local people in the city that were making life miserable for de Blasio. So de Blasio, I just saw an article in the New York Post. I'm not sure why I think that there should be some way, I don't remember how, to screen capture on my phone. I'll try to remember that I'll try to figure that out for next time I want to do this. But I saw an article in the New York Post where de Blasio was basically throwing his arms up in mourning because he claimed that over the past decades, progressives have had the opportunity to govern competently in New York, and they never do it. And it's true, and he's right. And this may be the one moment of honesty for Bill de Blasio since he became the mayor of the city. If you know anything about the history of New York, you don't have to be from there, but you at least know people from there, or you need to read a few articles about it. There was Mayor Abe Beame back in the 70s, had all of these fiscal crises, and at a certain point there was a police strike, and New York was basically a chaotic jungle for, I believe, a few months, and people were basically taking their lives into their hands when they'd walk through certain neighborhoods. I think that was even the time when, if you remember the Summer of Sam, if you the movie from the 90s with Spike Lee, that was when a lot of these landlords in the Bronx started to basically set fire to their own properties in order to collect the insurance money. That's basically what Bill de Blasio is fearing, that New York is about to go into a period like that. It's not good. It's very bad for the city to be a place where basically people are running away because they don't have the the security to they don't have the security, they don't have the financial structure of the tax code to actually be able to grow their business and support their needs and support their families in some cases. I'm not talking about Jeff Bezos, but in the case of a lot of the smaller businesses, what Jimmy Dore doesn't get, okay, I want you guys to know this, okay? So what Jimmy Dore and Sandy Cortez are neglecting is the fact that New York didn't gain anything from this. They basically turned down what would be, you know, an amount of money that they're not satisfied with in favor of taking no money. And think about it this way. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was behaving as if the $2.5 million that Amazon did not get in tax abatements now can be directed towards other resources like education and other things. That's not the case. There is no money. That money it wasn't sitting somewhere for New Yorkers to take. The money had to have been collected by New York City from a company existing in New York City that was operating there in order for it to exist. So essentially, she's under the impression that New Yorkers saved $2.5 billion of money that they didn't have. This is how stupid this person is. And Jimmy Dore too. He was like saying, you know, there were hecklers at the at a press conference for one of the people who was I believe a state senator was saying, you know, we wanted these jobs or whatever, and he's like, yeah, people are protesting because they didn't get shitty jobs. This is very convenient for Jimmy Dore to say, who's now, you know, he's a YouTuber, he's making millions and millions. I don't know if he's making millions of dollars, but he's making, you know, a reasonable income at the moment. And he used to come from a working class background. I'm not begrudging him that. I'm not saying that he's some sort of limousine liberal or you know, what would I call it, like Pavarotti progressive or something. I don't know what's a luxury item that starts with a P. But you know, Jimmy Dore is behaving as if people can pick and choose which jobs they have at the moment, and they should stick it out because Amazon doesn't give them great working conditions. Look, I lived at a time when when I was first getting into the job market, I was working under the table for $5 an hour. Okay, that's the way some people start out their lives, and eventually you would hope that they work higher. Some people never get out of it, and I don't think Jimmy Dore has a solution to that. And he doesn't have it in this case. He's basically talking about, you know, I want people not to have jobs because the jobs aren't fair. So I'd rather just have them sit on their asses and do nothing. So that's about it. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, share the video. Also subscribe to my other channel, Razor Ray Special Cuts, as well as my channels on Cocoscope and BitChute, and subscribe to me on the social media in the description. And I'll talk to you guys later.